Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with Case Solutions. In this video, we will be finding the least common multiple of the numbers 12 and 18. The easiest way to find the least common multiple is by doing a prime factorization table. And so I have a few videos on it, but we'll do the prime factorization of these two numbers here as well. But if you need another reference, please look back at the previous videos. So let's do the prime factorization of the number 12. So remember, the prime factorization is trying to find the prime numbers of your main number. So prime numbers are any numbers that cannot be divided by anything else except for 1 and itself. So in this case, 12 is not a prime number because it can be divided by other numbers. And in this case, I'm going to do 6 and 2. So your prime factorization table, you're just finding multiplications of that number. So 6 times 2 gives me 12. But you could have done any multiplication that you want to do. So you could have done 3 times 4, and that could have been how you started off your table. But in this example, I'm going to do 6 and 2. So I've already got one prime number, 2, because 2 cannot be divided by anything else except for 1 in itself. But 6 is not a prime number, so I need to break that down even more. So I'm going to add more branches to my tree. And off the top of my head, I know 3 times 2 gives me 6. So I'm going to write that. And here, I've gotten prime numbers now. 3 is a prime number, 2 is a prime number. So this is the prime factorization for the number 12. 3, 2, and 2. And like we did in our previous videos, we can check our answer by multiplying our prime numbers. So if I multiply 3 times 2 times 2, it should give me 12. And you can also write it as 3 times 2 squared. Same thing, still going to give you 12. Just another way to rewrite it. Now, let's do the prime factorization for the number 18. So, off the top of my head, I know 9 times 2 gives me 18. So I'm going to write that down. And remember, this can be whatever multiplication, whatever numbers you know off the top of your head that can give you a breakdown of the number. So for me, 18, I know 9 times 2. So 2 is a prime number, but 9 is not a prime number. And here's why. Because it can be divided by other numbers. So in this case, it can be divided by 3. So 9 times 3 gives me 3, which means that 3 times 3 gives me 9. So I can write down my 3's. And now I have prime numbers at the end of my tables. I have a 3, and a 2, which should be the prime factorization for the number 18. And so let's check our answers. If we did 3 times 3 times 2, that should give us the number 18. And it does. And we can also rewrite it just like we did on the left-hand side. 3 squared times 2. Still going to give you 18. Just another way to rewrite it. But for this problem, we were asked to find the least common multiple. So now that we have found the prime factorizations, what we do now is we use these prime factorizations to find the least common multiple. So in this case, I'm going to use the prime factorizations from the number 12 and the prime factorizations from the number 18 to give me my least common multiple of those two numbers. And so in this case, to find the least common multiples, you use the highest numbers, the highest instance of your primes in each number. So in this case, the highest instance of my prime numbers in the number 12 were my 2's. I had 2 2's. And on my 18s, I had 2 3's here. So to find my least common multiple, I'm going to repeat that. To find the least common multiple, I need to find the largest instances of my prime numbers in each number. So the largest instances of a prime number in the number 12 were the 2's because I had 2 of them. And the largest instances of a prime number in the 18 was the number 3 because I had 2 of those. So now if I rewrite that, 2 times 2, coming from the 2 squared, and then bringing over the highest instances from the number 18, 3 times 3. If I were to multiply this together, 2 times 2 times 3 times 3, it gives me the number 36. You can also have kept it the same way we had wrote it. So you could have done 2 squared times 3 squared. Still will give you 36. And this is your least common multiple. So what that means is, and this is going to be very helpful when you do fractions, but what this means is this is the smallest number that these two numbers get to. So for example, for 12, you go 12 times 1 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24, and 12 times 3 is 36. So that's the least common multiple here. 18 times 1 is 18, but guess what 18 times 2 is? It's 36, correct? So that's what that means to be the least common multiple. When I multiply these numbers, what's the first number that I can get to that both of these can match? And it was 36. Now you could keep going and maybe there's a bigger number, but it won't be the least common multiple. This is the least common multiple. It's the smallest number that both of these numbers can get to by being multiplied. Now we found it the easy way. Now you could have done it this way just because these are smaller numbers, just by going 12, 24, 36, 18, 36, boom, because they're smaller numbers. But as you get towards those bigger numbers, maybe you have your hundreds and your 200s, then you want to break it down by a prime factorization, this method here, and then using your prime factorization, those largest instances, multiplying those out to then get your least common multiple, which we found there again to be 36. So that's two methods that you can do it, whichever one you find easier, but I hope that helps.